If you're an e-com brand owner doing over $500,000 monthly revenue and feel like you're too busy to figure out TikTok Shop, this video is for you. Most e-com brand founders expect TikTok Shop to take hours of time recording videos every single week themselves, trying to figure out how to edit it and post it and somehow figure out how to go viral and maybe even send thousands of samples and likely lose money. I'm about to show you how e-com brand founders are basically growing their TikTok shops from nothing and hitting 6 figures plus in monthly revenue. They're doing this in addition to all other aspects of their actual business and still scaling revenue on Amazon, Shopify, retailers, and other platforms. So if you want to dominate TikTok Shop while still scaling your current and core business, this video is for you. Section 1, why founders avoid TikTok. The time commitment myth keeps a lot of brand owners stuck on TikTok Shop. They simply feel like they don't have the time to figure out and succeed on TikTok Shop. They're also trying to use Yuka AI and other outreach methods to just find a lot of good creators. And so they're spending a lot of time and effort and money into TikTok Shop, but still not seeing results. This is a very common barrier and challenge that brands have on TikTok. Most e-com brand founders assume that TikTok Shop takes a lot of time for them personally to record the content and actually be in the videos as the founder. While this is a way to succeed on TikTok Shop, there are certainly many brands that are using founder-led content to succeed. It is certainly not the only method, and it is not the #1 solution, especially because the time of founders is valuable. And at the end of the day, founders want to be doing the thing that they can to actually maximize the business's overall revenue as much as possible and not have to just sit behind a camera for hours per day. This misconception about TikTok Shop makes a lot of brand owners avoid the platform entirely. However, it shouldn't really be that way. The ultimate thing with TikTok Shop is it can be a flywheel operating in the background for you, actually getting a lot of success, and can be very automated. It's simply a matter of figuring out how to accomplish that for your brand and get there. Because the reality is the brand's founder does not have to be spending hours per day or per week trying to figure this out. The DIY trap with TikTok Shop is what I call it when a lot of brands try to do it themselves, do it in-house, and do it by themselves, maybe even as the founder alone. This simply does not work most of the time because the founder is too burned out, doesn't have the time, and doesn't have the ability to even figure out the strategies for TikTok Shop that work. I can't tell you how many times young founders are telling me, I thought I was young, I thought I had the ability to understand the algorithm on TikTok, but I just couldn't figure it out. Or no, I just don't really have the time to figure out TikTok. I've already put a lot of time and money and resources and sending samples out and doing all these things, and I'm just not getting results with it. The reality is I've now made a better way. If you can find high quality creators that are actually qualified with your niche of products, know how to get sales for your kind of products, and know how to do research on their own, TikTok Shop can be an incredible growth lever for you. Creator generated content honestly performs a lot better than founder generated content just because there can be so much more of it, and you can keep your quantity high while also retaining quality, which is simply not typical or possible at all for a founder in most circumstances. There are cases where brands like Christian Guzman of Alphalete or Pop Daddy Snacks, as two examples, are using founder-led content to scale on social media. However, the raw reality of it is most founders are not that comfortable behind a camera and simply don't even have the time necessary or motivation to put themselves behind the camera and grow the brand as themselves as the founder on TikTok Shop. So while that is a method that works, the method to scale as far as possible on TikTok Shop is going to be with a mass creator army. The key with TikTok Shop to make it a big success for your brand is setting up systems in place that operate while you sleep. Now, what I'm not talking about is just using AI creators only. That can definitely work. However, in addition to using AI content creators, it needs to be a lot more complex than that in terms of real automated systems. And what I'm talking about is a great creator brief that's updated daily with viral content that's high performing in your category. What I'm talking about is a data analytics tool that's tracking top sales, top views, and top content pieces for your brand and for some of their product competitors, and simply an automated system that's teaching creators every day, making sure that they're continuing to be successful, making sure they're continuing to be motivated, and building that part up. Because if you can have that content flywheel of 100 plus videos per week, that's when you can start to see real results and real scale, as long as they know what they are doing. As you add more creators, you are not actually adding more work for yourself, and this is a big misconception that brands have. As you build systems in regard to onboarding new creators, training new creators, and actually scaling your results, it actually becomes easier and easier. This is because you're able to do good training calls, for example, where top creators actually show the newer ones how to get results. This means that as you are getting more results, you're actually having an easier time finding creators and you're having an easier time training creators. And so ideally, as the system grows, it starts to be able to care for itself more and more. Now, that's not to say it's necessarily easier, because obviously the more successful it is, the more important it will become for you, but it does actually become a lot more simple to automate. And so you're able to put your time into doing higher and higher leverage tasks that move the business forward even more. By the way, if your brand is already established on TikTok Shop and knows looking to add thousands of creators more per month and truly scale, click the first link in the bio below to apply to work with our team and book the time to talk to us. Now, what are realistic timelines with TikTok Shop to actually see real results and start to see ideally profit increase? This definitely depends on the brand and how established you are in TikTok Shop by the time that you start to take it seriously. However, I've seen brands get results in a matter of weeks and months simply by using the viral content strategy framework. And what I'm talking about is using Calidata and Fastmoss to start plugging in best performing hooks and best performing angles and best performing call to actions into your product creator team and basically make sure that they're able to start seeing and scaling your content results as quickly as possible, right? And when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about both quality and quantity. Plus, if you're able to use Calidata and Fastmoss to scrape the information of top creators and start reaching out and working with real, true top creators, you're able to start seeing real results a lot faster. It can take as few weeks and months to start to actually see a real improvement on TikTok Shop. And this is done by working with top creators and by making real high quality content at scale. It is really this simple. And I would say this is the first thing that you should be really thinking about before starting to really pour money and spend into paid ads. If you are using the spray and pray TikTok Shop approach, your prayers unfortunately will not be answered. Now, I am a God-fearing Jew. However, I will tell you that you need to put in the work here. And that means working with real high quality, qualified creators. And this spray and pray method is not something I endorse. Instead, I endorse working with high quality, qualified creators that can really truly make a difference here on TikTok Shop. As you do this successfully, you're going to have a larger and larger number of videos going live on TikTok Shop every single week, and you're going to start to see a trickle-down effect where your other platforms are going to benefit from this. First of all, in terms of brand awareness. Second of all, in terms of sales of people that are choosing to purchase on other platforms after discovering it on TikTok Shop. And third, through an increased quality of content and ads on other platforms as a result of the incredible content that you are making actively on TikTok. You do not need to become a TikTok creator to win big on TikTok Shop as a brand. In 2025, the most successful e-com brands on TikTok Shop are those that are learning how to leverage creator communities, just like some of my clients, including Clean Nutra and many others. Content creation is the #1 skill that sets apart the top brands on TikTok Shop from the rest, and knowing how to build and scale and train a creator community is the #1 needle mover right now at TikTok Shop that will allow you to truly scale your results. And we've done this successfully for many brands, creating a content flywheel of thousands of creators making high quality content that does not take away from brands' time, does not take away from their inventory levels, and certainly does not take away from their costs. Instead, this is something that is extremely rewarding for brands, allowing them to add more revenue, add more brand awareness, go viral, and really truly scale their product. All of this is possible without taking time away from your main brand and from your marketing channels and platforms that are already working. So if your brand is already doing serious revenue, but leaving money from TikTok Shop on the table, that just does not stand anymore. Click the first link in the bio below and apply to work with my team. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video.